Welcome back to 10-Minute Marriage Tips to keep you hitched. I'm Kyle Morrison here with the love guru, Dr. Phil Yates. Phil, is it true you're a doctor?
It changes every day, mate. No, I'm not. Nowhere near a doctor.
Good. Glad we got that out of the way. Phil is not a doctor, but he does have some good tips.
These are my opinions.
Some good advice. And I'm looking for good advice. I haven't been married as long as Phil, only more than 12 months. Exactly how many months, I can't remember. And Phil, how long have you been married?
23 years.
23 years. So we have the old wise one giving advice to the young.
22, coming up to 23.
All right. And we do have a free offer for you.
We do.
I think we're going to go the whole enchilada today, so stay tuned for that offer. Phil, tell me a little bit about intimacy in marriage.
Intimacy in marriage is interesting because there's a lot of lies out there. There's a lot of deception as far as marriage. Marriage is a biblical thing. We notice in Genesis that God made male and female, and they were to be married, and they were to leave their parents and join as one flesh. Intimacy has a lot to do with that, joining as one flesh. It has a lot to do with commitment.
Now, I'll just jump in here and say intimacy has been very much perverted coming from the marketing world myself.
Big time.
Sex sells.
Yep.
But probably only for the short term, definitely damages for the long term when that's the focus.
Believe it or not, intimacy has very little to do with sex.
Mm-hmm.
Sex is something that is awesome and can only be handled or can only be experienced well in a marriage relationship.
Interesting.
Now, you're probably going to get a lot of comments from that. There's going to be a lot of stuff on the bottom. Now, intimacy can happen after that and this, that, and the other. Marriage is the only real relationship that can handle sex. Well, they say it as clear as I can't say it any clearer than that.
Can I get your opinion on sex before marriage?
Sex before marriage is you're experiencing. That's a good question. Sex before marriage, I don't think a dating relationship can handle sex.
Okay.
To its full potential. Because what happens in sex, we don't know. As far as being intimate in a relationship before marriage, you're not experiencing the things that you are experiencing when you're actually in a marriage relationship.
Committed.
That's why I'm saying the only relationship that can handle sex, you can have sex whenever you want, and you can have it before whatever you want, but it's an action. It's an action word. When you're married, when you're committed, it's different.
I've heard it said that it's like opening the Christmas presents before Christmas.
Okay.
You're
Okay.
missing half of the thrill of it, aren't
Yeah.
you? Because it's not Christmas.
That's right.
But sorry for sidetracking.
Well, let me explain, and it'll make more sense as I go through what's intimacy for a male, what's intimacy for a female.
Let's hear it.
And look, again, this is my opinion. This is through some of the research that I've done, some of the things that I've experienced. This is what it is. Intimacy, if you wanted a line, and you can agree, disagree with this, but it is the joy of knowing someone fully and being known by that person without fear of rejection. So knowing each other fully, being open with each other fully can happen in a committed relationship. There's certain things that happen with sex. The thing we try and throw away in a dating relationship or having sex is the guilt that comes with it. Should I have done that? Do they expect me? You're asking all those questions. And intimacy for a woman would go down to be you want to meet a guy, fall in love with a guy, and know that you can trust that person completely. You want to share everything there is to know about you without fear of betrayal or rejection. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. That's what most females want. To know that person fully and to be known by them in return is what you're after. You're after intimacy. That's intimacy. That's not sex. That can be experienced without sex. But the sex that happens after intimacy is felt is a lot different than the sex that, because there's a lot of questions. Before marriage, there's a lot of questions about, does that person know me? Is that person committed to me? Can I be completely open with it? Can I trust that person? There's a ton of questions that happen before marriage that marriage solves the problem with. So let's go to males. Males, what's intimacy for you? You want to meet a girl and to be physically attracted to her and to fall in love with her and never lose that physical attraction. Imagine that. Because the longer you're married to a woman,
the older she gets.
She's not young anymore. I've been married to my wife she's coming on to, I won't give her age, but she's coming on.
She's quite young, isn't she?
Yeah, she's the young 40s.
Okay.
I'm 51. I'm early 50s. She's late 40s. But as she got older, to me, she's become more attractive. That is intimacy for me, because I started going out with her. She was beautiful and the skin was all tight, not wrinkly. It was just
Still isn't, of course.
No, still good.
Yeah.
But as you get older, you get
Older. Yes.
And as you get older, the fear for a guy is that I'll lose attraction for her. Well, intimacy happens, and I believe it's got a lot to do with my relationship with God and our relationship with God in our marriage.
Okay.
It has a lot to do with that. God gives us and gives me the gift of intimacy with her. That means that I'll never lose attraction for her, and she can see that. And when she's fully open, physically and mentally and spiritually, she's fully open with me, and she has no fear of rejection, no fear of me, saying anything that's negative towards her. That's true intimacy for me. That I still am so attracted to her, and she can see that. Imagine that. I don't believe that's going to happen in a dating relationship. God set it up that way. So the best way for intimacy for a guy is not through sex. That has to be given before, and in order to do that, you need to commit. Guys, the boundaries of relationships need to be set by the girls. Guys will just say yes to whatever they're allowed to do, whatever they're allowed to go. Women, and believe it or not, women, if you're in a dating relationship and that, men will say yes to whatever you want them to say. There are some men out there that will go, no, here's my boundaries. This is where I'm at. Da, 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 da. And men will respect you more from the no. Good men will expect you more from the no. And they'll go, I love this woman because she said no to whatever, and she set boundaries. Boundaries are important. Boundaries are important in a dating relationship. I really believe with all my heart that sex before marriage can actually work against the relationship, not for the relationship.
Okay.
That's my firm belief.
That's intimacy.
Have we got a giveaway?
We've got a giveaway. It is the whole enchilada. It is a highly effective marriage by Nancy Van Pelt, and it's not just the other one, the effective marriage book that we previously gave away. It's the full book.
This is the one you want.
The full enchilada.
Yep.
Costs quite a bit, so we've put a limit on it.
Yep.
But if you are one of the first to text the word love, 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 to 0482 082 876, we'd love to get that in your hands. That's 0482 082 876. Oh, there I am. So, love. That's a good book coming your way. It's your top recommendation, isn't it, Phil?
Yeah, 100%. Sign it up and get it into your hands. It's what you want.
Thank you for your time. Looking forward to the next episode of 10-Minute Marriage Tips to Keep You Hitched.